Yes, good evening, USA, International, Long Island, aka Strong Island, Canada, 5 spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, Queens. This is your man G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator, YouTuber, host with the most, misunderstood, lonely nomad, unstoppable independent podcaster, and of course, Lawton, Queens, New York native of Queens, New York, of course. Yes. And you're rocking and hanging out with me on the 246th episode of Off the Meat Rack Chainz New York podcast. I'm sorry for the delay of the podcast upcoming episode recordings. Had a late dinner and stuff, so I had to wait for the itis to actually wear off and stuff. So you know how that shit goes. Anyway, man, I hope y'all already set your clocks and watches 1 hour ahead and stuff. And I will touch base on the whole bill in a future episode in regards to making it permanent and stuff. But I have a little bit of some people have some mixed feelings. I'll talk about that in a future episode. But anyway, man, live and direct from StreamYard alongside with YouTube, alongside with StreamYard, YouTube, and of course, aside myself is the Instagram live feed of the podcast show page on Instagram. Make sure you follow that. And of course, be sure to um, you know, turn your notifications so you can be reminded of when each episode is going to be dropping and any delays or whatever. So, you know what I'm saying? And if you are new to the YouTube channel page and you miss any previous episodes whatsoever, please go ahead and grab that subscribe button on the YouTube channel page of G Money Stacks 555, where you see all the New York episodes on there. And of course, be sure to tap the noti bell so you can, and along with alerts, so you can be reminded of when the show goes on the air via live stream, along with the date, the day, and time of the scheduled podcast recording. Leave a like and a comment along with the episodes and topics, and tell us what you think about the topics that's going to be discussed in each episode whatsoever. And of course, make sure you download the episodes. Download the episodes, very important. And of course, be sure to listen, stream, watch these episodes. In case you miss any of them, don't worry. Everything's all covered. I got you back on that one. And of course, share the videos, share the episodes whatsoever, and um be sure to tell a friend to another friend. And I will handle the rest on where you can listen to the podcast episodes whatsoever. And I will have your back. So let me just remind y'all, you are more than welcome to make a charitable donation to of course Anchor and of course Cash App, which I will gladly put up actually. And which I'll gladly put up actually. So this is the Cash App right here, where you could actually make a charitable donation, which is another option right there. Which is $ G Money Stacks 555. That's $ capital G lowercase MONEY capital S lowercase TACKZ 555. You don't need to be from a rich family to actually have a lot of money to show more support. It's all about doing the best you can on whatever amount you choose and desire to donate will be appreciated. And also, make a you can also make a 5-star rating review on Off the Meat Rat Chainz New York podcast on Podchaser, Podfriend, alongside with alongside with Spotify. Of course, on Spotify, you can also share the episodes as well. And yes, and by the way, I am going to touch on a future episode in regards to in regards to Spotify for podcasters, all right? Now, don't worry about that. I got y'all covered with that topic in a future episode. I'm not going to do it today. I'll do it in a separate future episode. So I got y'all. Anyway, and also, by the way, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, whatever, and you have any topics that you want to chime in on or whatever, yes, feel free to go jump onto the email address right here, which is off the meat rat chains New York podcast at gmail.com, which is what NY stands for. That's off the meat rat chains New York podcast at gmail.com. So there you have it right there. And let us know what day exactly you can actually do this. So you can be a guest. And you can chime in on the topics. You can chime in on the segments that we have here. We got mental health check-in. We have chatting on the jazz with the with the particular topics, and there's variety of segments in here that we have for you. So there you have it. And and yes, so what we're gonna do. What we're gonna do here is now I haven't done mental health checking in a minute, so let's. I haven't done mental health checking in a minute, so let's do that first. Um, so let's do that first. Actually, let's see. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Yes, here it is. Let's do mental health checking first, man. All right, here we go. Yes, the portion of the segment is to basically, it's not just it's not just a it's not just about me, it's also about you out there to see how you're doing with your week, your recent weekend, whatever it is, whatsoever. And as for me, how I'm feeling mentally, physically, and spiritually, you ask. Well, for the most part, I'm doing all right for the most part. I'm trying to actually hang in there as far as like anything goes, as far as like, the crazy ass haters or whatever. But um, at the same token, I'm not really gonna really let that stop me from keeping myself pushing. Because the fact of the matter is that as a podcast host, I always have something to offer, whether it is to provide y'all with a relief of some fun places to do for the 3-day weekend, which I will do on a particular tomorrow episode or two. And yeah, I got y'all with some fun activities and stuff. And mentally, yeah, I've been going through a lot. Physically and spiritually, I am trying to put all the pieces together and stuff. So and that's why I haven't really recorded in the past 3 days, actually, due to late dinners and stuff. So you know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to address this before we even start the show. So, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, so there you have it right there. Um, all right, so now that I got that out the way, let's get into um we gotta talk about the whole BQE thing and the whole traffic study data thing that's going on. Let's get into New York Mass Transit files right here. Yes, that's one of the things that matters to me as a commuter. So here it is. Before we start, let me see who's in the chat right now on the Instagram live feed right here. Let's take a look. Okay, we got Happy 502. Thank you for viewing this. Thank you for joining this live stream. And by the way, if you are on Instagram live on the podcast show page or whatever, and you're viewing this, don't be afraid to say hi or say something about the topics. If you have some thoughts that you want to talk, that you want to actually chime in as far as the topics and stuff, go ahead in the comments section. Okay, it, it's not gonna hurt you. So I'm just saying. And by the way, also before I even mention before I even go into the story, um I found out that this podcast and along with my other two podcasts is on Podvine and Bullhorn FM. So I'm actually going to actually add that um to the list when I wrap up. So let me just add that real quick. Let me see. Let me just add that real quick. Okay. Okay. Bullhorn. Okay. One moment. Okay, here we go. Yes, we need to talk about the BQE and the whole traffic study thing. Okay, so here it is, right? Here's what's happening here. For you New Yorkers out there, y'all want to listen to this. I want to actually listen to this topic right here. Now, hang on a minute here. I need to take care of this. Okay, there. All right, so this is according. Here's what's going on in the AMNY website here. Okay, so the city is slamming the brakes on its plan to re-envision the crumbling triple cantilever section of the Brooklyn Queens Expressway to allow for a comprehensive traffic study of the optimal numbers of lanes on the highway. In December, the Adams administration unveiled its proposals to re-envision the 1.5-mile city-owned section of the BQE in Brooklyn, particularly the much maligned triple cantilever section running through Brooklyn Heights. In order to be eligible for federal infrastructure grants, the administration aimed to fast track the visioning process and start environmental reviews by this spring, which is already around the corner. But the plan sustained significant pushback from activists and local elected officials for restoring a third travel lane in each direction on the 70-year-old highway. At the former Mayor Bill de Blasio narrowed the stretch to two lanes, ostensibly to extend its lifespan. The the Department of Transportation has contended the third lane would not be for general automobile use, but instead as a high occupancy vehicle lane, bus lane, or a shoulder. Nonetheless, in a familiar move on Friday, DOT announced that the project would again be delayed with environmental review, now expected this autumn, aka fall. So The agency can conduct a study of lane configuration on the cantilever, assessing the traffic and environmental impacts of 2 versus 3 lanes on the stretch. End quote. We are committed to environmental justice, public health, and reducing the harmful effects of the BQE building as building as narrow a structure as possible along BQE Central that also meets federal safety regulations, said DOT Commissioner Adonis Rodriguez in a statement. That's why DOT will be undertaking a comprehensive traffic study on both 2 and 3 lane configurations for the city owned section and reviewing additional feedback in close coordination with state, federal, and community partners as we continue with scheduled interim repairs to ensure the cantilever remains safe. The cantilever could be unsafe to use as early as 2026, barring major repair or replacement work, accounting to an expert panel convened by de Blasio. The Adams administration's plan had called for either partial or total replacement of the cantilever's retaining wall and to cover the unsightly expressway stretch through Brooklyn Heights with green space, allowing connections between the Brooklyn Heights Promenade and Brooklyn Bridge Park. The DOT has also had to stall the implementation of weight sensors to catch and find the owners of overweight tracks using the cantilever. The sensors are in place. DOT previously told AM New York Metro, but can't be turned on until the feds deem them to meet calibration standards and work as advertised. Trucks weighing more than 80,000 pounds are barred from using the highway, but de Blasio's expert panel estimated more than 11% of rigs using the BQE were hauling loads in excess of that, with some carrying as much as 170,000 pounds. Sheesh. Throughout the public engagement process, DOT has weathered criticism from local residents and elected officials who argued the city's plans should aim to reduce traffic on the BQE. To be eligible for federal funding, the highway must effectively sport 3 lanes, says DOT, 2 12-foot travel lanes and one 10-foot shoulder lane on the right and one 4-foot shoulder lane on the left. But advocates, elected and local civic groups, and even top business leaders have called for the city to tear down the BQE entirely, arguing the Robert Moses era highway had divided 3 communities and choked neighborhoods with air pollution and traffic. Damn. Damn. This is an uphill battle. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, this is an uphill battle, folks. Okay. The BHA and the Coalition for the BQE transformation have been consistent in our position that the BQE must not expand beyond its current footprint, and in fact, should be as small as possible, if not entirely eliminated, so that every adjacent community can have the opportunity to breathe clean air and reap the positive health, safety, and climate benefits that would come from a smaller highway, said Laura Burnback, executive director of the century old Brooklyn Heights Association, in an email. Local elected local electeds have also decried the fact that the rest of the highway, which is owned by the state and stretches from Sunset Park, Brooklyn to Astoria, Queens, New York, is not being considered for a re-envisioning after the state declared it had no such plans. Hmm. The BQE is a relic of an era of racist highway planning. Really? I'm not sure what the hell does that even mean. But I'm not sure what the hell that even means, but this is kind of weird. It's kind of weird though, man, if you really want to be technical and shit. Yeah, I don't know about all that though, man. That right there sounds like sounds like an idea that's waiting to crash and burn. Okay, we have a once in a generation opportunity to reconnect communities the BQE tore apart. And we can't waste this chance, said Kathy Park Price, the Brooklyn organizer at Transportation Alternatives, in a statement. Now is the time to build infrastructure that meets the needs of all New Yorkers, not rebuild highways. Hmm. Yeah, that's an interesting point right there. But I just wish people could put their fucking politics aside, man, and just get this shit done, man. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of getting shit done, a lot of people from Brooklyn are not feeling the LIRR schedule. It's getting really crazy and lousy, as you may say. The arrival of full Long Island Railroad service at Grand Central Madison on Monday means a whole new schedule for riders to get used to, and those traveling to and from Brooklyn say they are not feeling the love. While the Metropolitan Transportation Authority touts 30% more weekday traffic, weekday trains at Atlantic Terminal under the new schedules, almost all Brooklyn service is now operating as a shuttle, requiring riders to transfer at Jamaica. Those from Long Island who had gotten used to a one-seat ride to Kings County say they are not pleased. It's certainly a lot different and a little confusing, said Ed Freeman, a resident of Merrick, Nassau County, who arrived at Atlantic Terminal at 10 a.m. on February 27th. Now there are no more direct trains here, so you have to change to another track all the way at the other end of the Jamaica station. So it's very difficult, but it takes some getting used to. Yeah, I get it. That yeah, that has to be a major headache right there. That has to be a major headache, and I kind of feel bad for the commuters who take the LIRR. Thank goodness I don't take the LIRR to work though, man, because that would be too much of a fucking hassle for me. And plus, LIRR is pretty expensive though these days. If you catch my drift though, man. Oh man. Yeah, yeah. Um, hold on a second. Yes. Oh no! Yeah. Okay, so let me see who's in the chat right here. Hold that thought. And JR Media dot comics, man. And thank you for checking this out. Appreciate you. And and what else we have here on the yes. So The long awaited, so the long, hold on. Yes, so the long awaited full opening of Grand Central Madison brings with it a 40% increase in service capacity on the LIRR, now totaling 936 trains, including 296 in Grand Central. MTA officials have boosted. The MTA says that service on the Brooklyn branch is increasing with 12-minute peak headways and 20-minute intervals during off-peak hours and weekends. All Brooklyn branch trains will make stops at North Strand Avenue and East New York. Not to be confused with the TV show, folks. which is which is the TV show on CBS, folks. So if you didn't see it, just check it out. Anyway, which the agency says increases service and reliability for commuters from those stops. Nonetheless, those commuting from out east into Brooklyn say the transfer at Jamaica is cumbersome. It was okay today, but it's gonna change drastically because now I can't take a direct train in from where I live, said Jermaine, a Farmingdale, Nassau County resident who declined to provide his last name en route to work in Boren Hill. Jermaine said that the change feels not too good, but he'll adjust to his new reality. Maxine Campbell, a resident at St. Albans, Queens, New York, I'm familiar with that area, was also not pleased with the new Brooklyn service. They changed my train from 922 to 908 or 934, Campbell told AM New York Metro. If I get there at 934, then I get to work too late, but 908 gets me there too early. Campbell missed her usual subway connection to the 2 train at Atlantic Avenue, Barclays Center. At the ending up at the back of the LIRR train instead of the front, as had previously been the norm, making her late to work. She also says she expects she'll get used to it whether she wants to or not. I guess I don't have a choice, said Campbell. I guess you have to get accustomed to it. Yeah, I kind of get the feeling though. Ah, man. Yeah, that really sucks for the people, man. I really feel bad for them. Yeah, the fact that they have to adjust to different changes of the schedule, which is kind of crazy to me. Um, so yeah, one moment. Okay. Oh, right. Man, these changes is just crazy though. Asked about the gripes of Brooklyn riders at the Grand Central Madison's opening soiree on Sunday, MTA Chair and CEO General Lieber told AM New York Metro that even without direct service through to Brooklyn, Long Island commuters still benefit from a massive influx of trains to transfer to at Jamaica. Um, yeah, which is in Queens, by the way, folks, in case you didn't know. Um, you are getting more trains and you have so much more service, so many more options thanks to the incredible volume of trains that'll be passing through Jamaica, Lieber said following a ride from Grand Central to Jamaica with Governor Kathy Hochul, who will be on Good Day New York tomorrow, and Senator Chuck Schumer. New Yorkers know how to switch trains. They just need some time to get accommodated to the new arrangement. I'm very optimistic. Hmm. Okay, I kind of get it, but it's not gonna happen overnight. They're not gonna get used to it overnight, though, man. Like it's gonna take some time. So you know what I mean. So let's just wait and see what happens. A few Brooklyn trains per day out of Atlantic Terminal will still provide service east of Jamaica en route to Freeport, Hempstead, or West Hempstead. Lieber has frequently touted the benefits he expects for reverse commuters, those traveling from the city to Long Island during the morning rush, and vice versa in the evening under the new service regimen. There are more trains to and from Brooklyn, especially reverse commuting, Lieber said at Jamaica Terminal. So it used to be that people couldn't come from Brooklyn and go for great jobs that are available in Long Island. That's changing now. But the sentiment is not universal. Bruce Leeds, a 60-year-old retiree from Flatbush, was heading to Long Beach, Nassau County from Atlantic Terminal Monday morning and said it's absurd that a trip to see his pals out on the Barrier Island now requires either a schlep to Grand Central or Penn or a transfer at Jamaica. It's gonna add more time to service. Everything is gonna be messed up, said Leeds. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. They are messing us up. Who's gonna get messed up in the whole thing but us here in Brooklyn? Overall, rush hour service on the Long Beach branch, which is in Long Island, for those who are new to the show that's listening and watching, which now terminates at either Grand Central or Penn Station, increases under the new schedules from 13 to 23 per day. Of course, LIRR riders can learn more about the changes to their train schedules at the website um, um, new.mta.info/agency/Long Island Railroad/LIRR to Grand Central/branch service. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna create more it's gonna create more problems for people that's for Brooklyn. Yeah, I get it. That's gonna create more problems. I get it though. And MSG is in so much hot water right now. We need to actually talk about this though. They are in so much hot water at the moment. We got to talk about that right here. And of course, we get, first and foremost, um, before we even get to the MSG topic, um, a business that everybody's probably familiar with is actually going out of business, and I feel bad for the workers too, and they're gonna be screwed, man. All right, let me fill you in on what's going on with Bed Bath and Beyond, folks. For those of you that's in the New York areas, Bed Bath and Beyond reportedly has lined up investors for a last-minute cash infusion to help the struggling home goods retailer avoid bankruptcy, but experts are skeptical whether the plan will work. Hudson Bay Capital Management has agreed to anchor a sale of preferred stock that Bed Bath and Beyond disclosed late Monday that would raise more than $1 billion, according to Bloomberg. Damn, $1 billion just to stay open. Damn. So they really that desperate. Yeah. So they really that desperate. Got it. Got it. Okay. Chatting on the jazz. Forgot to do that right here. Yes, so this is chatting on the jazz. For those of you who may not know, this is one of the topics that's gonna be in here. Bed Bath and Beyond, and of course MSG is going to be in so much hot water. That'll be the next topic to talk about. But let's do this right here, man. Um, okay, okay. Okay, as I was saying, let me just continue where I left off here. Let's get into it right here. All right, so here it is. Nevertheless, the retailers' shares, which surged 92% to close at $5.86 on Monday, fueled by the meme stock crowd, closed down 49% on Tuesday to $3.01. Jeez, man. Damn, son. There is a slim to no chance that the plan they announced yesterday will stave off a bankruptcy filing because the debt hole they are in is too big, said distressed debt expert David Wander, a partner with Tartar, Krinsky, and Drogan. Jeez, if you bought triple BY at $5.75, you actually deserve to lose money, tweeted CNBC anchor Jim Cramer. Oh, wow. Damn. Damn, man. Really talk about shots fired. Talk about shots fired right there, man. Damn, son. Damn. Damn, son. Yeah, that's messed up. That's fucked up right there, man. But anyway, um, tweeted the maverick of Wall Street what the geniuses who are chasing bankrupt companies don't understand is that it's just a matter of time before these companies use the pumps to dump stock and raise much needed cash. Wanda said, Wanda said, and I quote, hang on a second. No, actually, he added, end quote, shame on Bed Bath and Beyond for taking advantage of the meme crowd who can't control themselves from throwing good money after bad stocks. Oh shit. The company on Monday announced a plan to avoid bankruptcy by securing a $100 million credit line from one of its lenders, Sixth Street Partners, and approval to raise more than $1 billion in the preferred stock sale, according to SEC filings. The funds would be used to pay down its $1.1 billion debt and $1.1 billion in debt, the company said. Damn, son. Damn. That's crazy right there, man. Oh man, that's crazy, man. It's just terrible. Um, yeah, so at the same time, the home goods company conceded in filings that if it will likely file for bankruptcy protection if all of these transactions are not fully consummated. Jeez. Damn, son. Believe it or not, I don't know why they do this to themselves. I really don't know why, but they really dug themselves in a big ass hole. That's crazy, man. Like it's like what the hell, man? Like seriously. It's almost like they are really, 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 and I mean really drowning in debt right now, man. Worse than being worse than drowning in the fucking ocean right now, man. Unfortunately, that's what it feels like. You know what I'm saying? That's what it feels like right there, folks. This is what happens. Okay, I'm not saying not everybody who has their own businesses is gonna fail. I'm not saying that though, man. But there's some companies that end up making boneheaded fucking decisions and all that other shit, and then costing the people who work for the company their jobs. So I'm gonna say that they're really drowning right now, man. They really are.
Oh
Yeah, it's game over for Bed Bath and Beyond, man. It's really game over for these fuckers, man. I'm sorry, but some people in companies they end up making boneheaded decisions. It's just so I, it's so fucking incredible. Like to hear some shit like this, man. Like really, I, I can't even imagine myself being a business person, man. Because with the way capitalism is going right now, it's it's a little complicated and very complex these days, though. So that's just oh man. So okay, so Bed Bath and Beyond, which defaulted on a loan from from JP Morgan Chase in January, setting it on the path towards bankruptcy, did not offer much hope that its plan will work. Okay, so prime example of a company that went bankrupt would be the folks who make the snacks from Hostess. I remember being on the Q5 a couple of times, and I would see a Hostess store right there where you usually get your snacks and cupcakes and Twinkies and all that other stuff. well, it's kind of worse than that because the MCA is actually in a fucking hole themselves because it's like why keep taking loans knowing that it's impossible to pay all that shit back. You know what I'm saying? It's so fucking ridiculous right now, man. And then you want to talk about raising the fares and shit. You gotta worry about your own shit that's going on right now. The amount of debt that the NCA is actually having to go through right now is just so fucking ridiculous right now, man. And I like, come on, man. Like, yeah, I really gotta get your shit together. Seriously. Get your shit together, seriously. And I'm not, it's not me, it's not just me saying this, it's a lot of people that's saying this shit too, man. Like, y'all really need to get your shit together as far as service, making better services for trains and buses and shit, though, man. Like instead of raising the fucking fares, it's ridiculous. It spells out. It really, and I mean this. I really mean this from the token of my heart that this this shit right here is this shit right here is an epic fail on Bed Bath and Beyond, the MTA, and all these other companies making boneheaded, dumb, fucking decisions. Okay. Okay. Where was I? Oh yes. There are certain conditions to our receipt of the proceeds at each closing, including that our common stock shall remain listed on a national securities exchange, that we must sufficient um authorize common stock to issue the shares subject to such closing. The following states, adding that our existing holders of common stock will be significantly diluted by the assure. Hold on, diluted by the yeah. It's supposed to say insurance. Yes, insurance of the securities in this offering. Wow, wow. Really feel bad for those workers, man. And speaking of feeling bad for the workers, man, let's get to the MSG being in hot water, man. We need to get to that right here. Yes. Oh my gosh, man. For those of you who are living under a damn Plymouth Rock or near the Grand Canyon or whatever, if you don't know what's going on with MSG, I'll fill you in right here. And controversy surrounding Madison Square Garden's uses of facial recognition technology continued to brew on March 11 as heads of the entertainment mecca announced legal action against the New York State Liquor Authority, just as the agency looks to pull its venues liquor licenses. Madison Square Garden Entertainment CEO James Dolan, who was on Good Day New York, said Saturday he has filed suit against the SLA, which has reportedly moved to pull the liquor licenses of the Garden and its affiliates. Um, the theater at Madison Square Garden, Radio City, um, um, Music Hall, and Beacon Theater, not Bacon Theater, as as a result of MSG's now infamous use of facial recognition technology to cherry pick who they allow to attend their events, including lawyers who have opened lawsuits against the company. Oh my fucking gosh, man. See, this is what I mean about hot water, man. You end up being you end up being in trouble. You end up being in trouble and shit though, man. You know what I'm saying? And I hate this, and I really hate to say this though, man, but that's gonna be an uphill battle, man. James Dolan is a fucking bonehead to be using facial recognition, unfortunately. But obviously he probably don't care, but he's a fucking idiot. He's a fucking idiot, man. Well, well, if all the people that's like fucking working for MSG and shit who has a liquor license, I run for the fucking hills right now, man. Yeah, and sometimes a company like that ends up falling flat on their face. They really do. And And I'm not kidding about this, folks. This is just me. And this is the biggest explosion of a story that I ever heard by MSG and the controversial facial recognition. Okay, there's more to this story, folks. Yes, there's more to this story. Um, yeah, so there's more to the story. Oh shit. Um, Dolan, who has not taken kindly to the effort to wound his wallet, is now attempting to fight back by calling endeavor to revoke his license abuse. This gangster like governmental organization has finally run up against an entity that won't cower in the face of their outrageous abuses, Dolan said in a statement, while others that have been subject to this harassment may have been forced into submission or silence. We are taking a stand on behalf of our fans and the many small businesses who have long been subject to the SLA's corruption. Um, while Dolan charges he is going to war on behalf of his customers, those who have been unceremoniously removed and their advocates feel differently. In January, Benjamin Pinzewski, a lawyer and an avid New York Rangers fan, and elected officials such as Senators Brad Hoylman spoke out on what they cite as corporate retaliation. Ooh, yeah. Madison Square Garden Entertainment says they use facial recognition technology for security purposes to keep their fans safe. Well, we have seen through these examples that James Dolan and Madison Square Garden are less concerned about the security of their fans and more concerned about corporate retaliation, Horman said. Um, MSG Entertainment's lawsuit claims that the SLA is operating outside its powers, maintaining that the business facial recognition policy has no correlation to the consumption or distribution of alcohol. The lawsuit further claims that the authority cannot single out MSG when other New York City nightclubs have far more exclusionary policies. In a statement, to AM New York Metro, a spokesperson for the SLA said the agency has not yet officially served with the lawsuit. However, the reps cited the Alcoholic Beverage Control Law, which requires that all retail licenses allow the general public access into their premises other than a licensed not for profit club license. As the agency has not been served in the suit at this time, we cannot comment on it directly, but we stand ready to vigorously defend our processes, actions, and dedicated staff, the rep said. Okay, folks. For those who's living in the New York area, I want y'all to express yourselves in the comments section below. How do you feel about MSG and of course by James Dolan, who is using facial recognition to quote unquote basically say that he uses saying that he uses it to basically claim that he is protecting the fans and security and shit. Like, do you think that's a boneheaded move? I'm going to make that a question for you folks out there in the episode description for when I get off the air, and it'll be in the description of what is it? Spotify for podcasters, and of course Spotify itself. If you take a, I'm going to put that on there too. So anyway, Anyway, man. So that's just to me, that's just fucking dumb, man. It's really, really dumb. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's really fucking dumb. Like, why? I can't really understand this shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, anyway, let's get to let's see what's other topics we got to. Yes, let's get to let's get to Busta Rhymes. Um, yeah, right here, this right here, I don't blame the guy, man. You know what I'm saying? I really don't blame the guy because I really don't blame him. And for those of you who may not know what went down, um, apparently, Busta Rhymes threw a drink on a lady, which we'll get to right here. Hang on a second. Yeah, wait a second. We'll get to it right here. Um, yeah, we'll get to it. We will get to it though. Okay. Yeah, so okay, so recently, hold on. When Busta Rhymes made the 1997 hit "Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See," he was serious. Recently, an excited fan got a little too handsy with the rap icon, which resulted in Busta throwing a drink on a woman in the blink of an eye. Now Nikita Mathis, the woman in the viral video touching the Brooklyn MC's butt, has released a statement explaining her actions. I didn't mean to touch his behind, Mathis told the Shade Room. Honestly, I was just happy to meet him and wanted a pic. Been a long time fan. I admit I should have touched him at all, but he's Buster. I felt like I could possibly get a pic. Okay, that sounds like a wrong approach to do. To honestly, that's like the wrong approach to do this though, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of wrong what the lady did though. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty wrong though, and shit like this can really, and I mean really, get you into a lot of trouble, and I mean double trouble of jeopardy. And that's just plain stupid right there, man. Unfortunately, folks. Yeah, you don't do that, man. You don't do that to a fucking MC Brooklyn rapper. You don't do that, man. If you want a picture, you could just ask. Like, damn, it's not that hard. It's not that fucking hard though, man. On Valentine's Day, February 14th, a video began making its rounds on social media showing Busta Rhymes and his entourage were walking through the airport terminal when an overly excited fan ran up behind him and touched his bottom. Without thought, the 50-year-old threw his drink at her, which also splashed other bystanders see below. I didn't know he was 50. Damn. I thought he was in his 40s. God damn. Fans should know by now that the touches spitter doesn't like his personal space invaded. Back in August 2022, Busta had to slap a fan's arm away for trying to grab his hand while he performed on stage during a show in New York City. To make matters worse, Busta Rhymes halted the show to address both the woman and her man. Yo, shorty, you with your man, right? He asked the lady who stood embarrassed. That's your girl. Buster then asked the man standing with her, what kind of shit you on letting her continue to grab me up? I'm a grown man. I'll fuck your girl. But I don't want to fuck your girl. I got a good woman at home. He continued before telling the woman, "Tame your girl. This is a weird thing. She touched me and shit. Y'all got y'all little funny ass camera phones and shit, and I don't agree with that. I'm not with that." He added, "See below." And on a lighter side, Busta Rhymes recently went viral for delivering his infamous rap verse from Chris Brown's 2011 hit "Look at Me Now." Joined by his fellow pioneers in rap, he shut down the 50 years of hip hop celebration at the 2023 Grammy Awards on February 5th. Okay, okay, so yes, so Busta Rhymes has a good reason to do that. So, you know what I'm saying? And that's just a lesson right here, man. If you want a picture of somebody, all you gotta do is just ask, man. Don't go around grabbing a person's space. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. You know what I mean? And let's see. Let's get to Shameik Moore. All right. All right, and this is from Double XO. After Shameik Moore has music in his blood, the 27-year-old son of a reggae artist is well known for roles in Wu Tang, in American Saga, Dope, The Get Down, and voicing the web slinging superhero in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, but hip hop is the Atlanta native's passion. Releasing music independently since 2015, Moore is hoping to make his mark on the record industry as well as the silver stage with an upcoming album and songs with artists like Playboy Cardi and Lil Yachty in the stash. Now Moore, hang on a second. Hang on a second. Now Moore talks about falling in love with hip hop, working with the Wu, and his own budding music career. Yes. So it's not really too late. It's never too late to do anything. Uh, it's never too late to do anything else. So yeah. Okay. All right. Let's get into it right here. All right. So okay. And of course, he did an interview with Double XL. So the interviewer asked, "Where does your love for hip hop come from?" And and Shameik says, "I saw the movie You Got Served. I walked in with my pants on my belly button, and I came out sagging. That movie opened my interest in dance. You are from Atlanta. Were you into the local music scene? When I was 12, I was doing dance battles at a nightclub, which led to casting director putting me in music videos with Soldier Boy, Carrie Hilson, and Lil Wayne. That's how I led into acting. The same casting director got a call from Cartoon Network. Hey, we need some kids to dance in this commercial. One thing kept leading to another. My whole trajectory is pretty much exactly that. One job leading to the next. The Wu Tang Clan came out before you were even born. What was your introduction to the Wu? I didn't listen to Wu Tang at all until I met RZA. RZA approached me to do his film Cutthroat City. That's when I started listening to Wu Tang, and it had nothing to do with that character. Um, I wanted to know more about who I was working with. You play Raekwon on Wu Tang and American Saga, but who is your favorite Wu Tang member musically? My favorite was definitely Ghostface. It's hard for Raekwon not to be my favorite now because I put my soul into the characters I play. I really understand as much as I can understand from the script and whatever experiences I've had um, with Raekwon and the music and how the lyrics are interpreted. I've built a relationship with Raekwon's lyrics and his energy and what he represents. What's your favorite Wu Tang song? It switches. I naturally listen to a song like Ice Cream more than others because of the kind of music that I make. It's R&B and hip hop. There's other flavors like reggae and some other things in there. When I was doing this last season, I was really heavy on Only Built for Cuban Links. Heaven or Hell also love the skits. Who are some hip hop artists you are into? I like a lot of what Sway Lee been doing for a while. Drake has been influential for a long time now. I think Party Next Door had a wave when he first dropped. I think Playboy Cardi is unfuckwittable. Oh wow, that's a new one, right? Wow, in his lane. I rock with Lil Yachty in person. I'm proud of ASAP Rocky right now. I fuck with Jacquees. Shouts to Lotto too. Who are some artists you like to work with? I got a record with Playboy Cardi. I got a record with Yachty. I would prefer to make a song with Kalani. I would like to make a visual and record with Normani. I would like to do some shit with Rema. Um, Omalay, Chris Brown. Um, I don't see it being a better visual than that. Don Tolliver. Those first two projects are hard. I think we could do something for Baby Keem. He cold. That's a bad boy right there. Wow. Wow. Yeah, he really nailed that interview, man. He really nailed that interview right there, man. And that right there, I can't even tell you right there. I can't even tell you. This is very interesting and very impressive. So yeah, so keep up the good work, Shameik Moore. And congratulations to your success and everything else. Let's make some noise for Shameik Moore. But first, let me just get some laughs in. All right. Okay. All right. So, all right, let's see what else we got on the agenda here. Um, okay. Logic. Okay. Let's get into logic. All right, and this is from Hype Beast. Logic has dropped off his eighth studio album, College Park. Clocking in approximately an hour and 10 minutes, the 17 track project features an array of guest appearances from RZA, Lucy Rose, C. Castro, Andy Hall, Big Lenbo, Fat Trell, ADE, Seth MacFarlane. Oh wow. Redman Static Selector, Joey Badass, Nora Jones, Jordan Harris, Big Lembo, Bun B, and Lil Kiki. The title of College Park pays tribute to the Maryland town where Logic spent a year sleeping in Big Lembo's basement, and the album narrates what those days looked like for him over a decade ago. College Park also marks the rapper's first ever studio album in as independent artist, releasing it in a partnership with BMG following a 10-year stint with Def Jam Records. And of course, you can even stream Logic's College Park on Spotify and Apple Music. All right, so there it is. And let's see what we got next. Yes, so let's get to hang on. Let me make sure I don't run out of topics here. Yes. Yes, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. Let's get to it. Let's get to that right there. Grandmaster Flash. All right. Okay, so and this is also from a Double XL article right here. So Double XL celebrates 50 years of hip hop in this moment. On March 12th, 2007, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five became the first group to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on this day in 2007. In hip hop, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five are the pioneers of protest rap and one of the most influential groups ever assembled. You know, I actually did I actually did this topic in regards to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame episodes ago and why it's called that. Um Y'all more than welcome to I forget which episode I did, but it's episodes ago I actually talked about this. And there's listen, and and I hear this all the time from Charlamagne the God who always wants to um he th- he thought it would be better to change the name from Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to Music Music Hall of Fame. I don't know, man. It doesn't really ring a bell on this shit though. It doesn't ring a bell. So, you know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel about that. Um and listen, you don't have to be a fucking rock and roll artist to be a part of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is to actually induct music artists, not just rock and roll artists. You're inducting singers, rappers, even 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 radio shows, even podcast shows. No, actually, and everything. It's not about being a rock and roll artist, man. So don't get that stigma fucking twisted, man. You don't need to be a rock and roll artist to be inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That is the stupidest thing that I ever heard. Worse than that fucking idiot from TMZ who said that an actor needs to be Italian to play Mario, which I will discuss that in a future episode. Um anyway, let's see. Let's see what we got here. Um all right, so let's get through this episode right here. Um let me see. All right. That's what I was. Okay, so in hip hop, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five are the pioneers. Yeah, I already read that part right there. Yeah, yeah, the pioneers of protest rap and one of the most influential groups ever assembled. The Bronx, New York based troupe consisting of Grandmaster Flash, aka Joseph Sadler, Melly Mel, aka Melvin Glover, Kid Creole, Nathaniel Glover, Mr. Ness, aka Scorpio, Eddie Morris, Raheem, Guy Williams, um, and the late cowboy Keith Wiggins are responsible for bringing social commentary into rap with their thought-provoking 1982 song "The Message," amid a time when party music was the norm in the genre. Their non-rapping member, Grandmaster Flash, is credited with being the the creator of turntable tricks associated with hip hop DJing. Um, as the induction ceremony, which took place at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York City, Jay-Z delivered the induction speech honoring the group's importance musically and culturally to hip hop. Afterwards, the founding members gave heartfelt speeches and followed it with a spirited performance of the message. The fact that we're in the Hall of Fame speaks volumes. Melly Mel told the Associated Press in March 2007. People try to separate hip hop music like it stands alone, but it really doesn't. We're in with all the great groups in the history of music. It further legitimizes hip hop, excuse me. And Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five's induction into the Rock and Roll Hall opened the door for other rappers to be saluted. Since then, 10 rap acts have been ushered into the Hall of Fame. Um, of course, starting with Run DMC 2009, Beastie Boys 2012, Public Enemy 2013, NWA 2016, late great Tupac Shakur 2017, late great Notorious B.I.G., aka Biggie Smalls 2020, Jay-Z 2021. Also in 2021, LL Cool J, and the last person to be inducted is Eminem 2022. 4 years before their induction, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five song "The Message" was archived in the U.S. Library of Congress in January 2003. Yes. Um. Wait. Um. Wow. So there's like a whole bunch of people who made an impact actually. So actually, let's get to a whole list of people who actually made it. So the list goes right here actually. So yeah, I'm actually going to get into it right here. So there's a list of people who made an impact in hip hop. So in early hip hop groups that made an impact. Here are the early hip hop groups. So which includes the Sugar Hill Gang. In 1979, the Sugar Hill Gang introduced hip hop to a mainstream audience with Rapper's Delight, the genre's first rap record. Hailing from New Jersey, the group was comprised of three members: Wonder Mike, Big Bank, Hank, and Master G. As hip hop started to gain widespread popularity, Sugar Hill Gang took the genre to new heights by landing at number 81 on Billboard's Hot Soul Singles chart on October 13th, 1979. That was the group's first entry on a Billboard chart. Although the other records had incorporated Rapper's Delight was such an undeniable force in music that it reached number 36 on the Billboard Hot 100 as well, making it the first hip hop single to become a top 40 hit. Not to mention Sugar Hill Gang's pioneering rap song was the first of its kind to reach the radio after the 15-minute version was edited down to a more manageable um 7-minute cut. Boogie Down Productions in the latter half of 1980s, Boogie Down Productions became one of the most influential hip hop groups at the time. Formed in the South Bronx, the rap trio originally consisted of KRS-One, D Nice, and DJ Scott LaRock. On the note of innovation, the group pioneered the fusion of dancehall, reggae, and hip hop, and by most accounts, BDP's legendary debuts opus Criminal Minded was the blueprint for gangster rap. 9 millimeter Goes Bang is often referred to as the earliest example of crime tales on wax. However, DJ Scott LaRock's tragic um, death in 1987 had a profound impact on KRS-One, who began to reconsider his musical persona, the Blastmaster. Later on, by all means necessary, the follow-up to BDP's debut project would arise from KRS's shift towards conscious rap. This time around, police brutality, government corruption, and issues plaguing the black community were themes throughout, helping kickstart hip hop's first ever Stop the Violence movement. Um, Cold Crush Brothers, as hip hop started to take form like groups like the Cold Crush Brothers, were considered pioneers of the movement. In 1978, the six-man crew burst onto the scene, quickly developing a reputation for their elaborate vocal routines, something that was unique to hip hop at the time. The group consisted of DJ Charlie Chase, DJ Tony, Easy, AD, Mr. T, Whipper Whip, and Dot a Rock. However, Whipper Whip and Dot a Rock jumped ship to join the Fantastic Five, who were considered the Cold Crush Brothers' rival. This rivalry was also depicted in 1982's Wild Style, the first hip hop movie. That same year, the Cold Crush Brothers released their first commercial record, Weekend, 5 years after they joined forces as a rap group. Funky, 4 plus 1. In the late 1970s, the dynamics of rhyming and DJing started to change, as evidenced by the number of crews that came crawling out of the woodwork. With that in mind, hip hop's history cannot be discussed without mentioning the Funky 4 plus 1. Forming in 1979, the five-person rap group was one of the first to include a female MC, Ciroc. However, one of the original members of the group, Raheem, left to join Grandmaster Flash in the Furious Five and was replaced by Rodney C, aka Lil Rodney C. It's also important to note that the Funky Four are synonymous with first for more than one reason. Most notably, their 1981 performance on Saturday Night Live, by invitation from Deborah Harry of Blondie. I don't know who the fuck Blondie is, man. I'm sorry. I don't know who they are, so I'm sorry. Just not familiar with that shit. Mark marked the first time a hip hop group had appeared on national television. The group went on to release That's the Joint after signing to Sylvia Robinson's imprint Sugar Hill Records. The sequence, hip hop was considered a male dominated social activity for the most part in 1979. The Funky Fours plus one Ciroc may have been the first sighting of a female MC, but she wasn't the last. Hailing from South Carolina, the sequence came into the fold to funk the game up, cementing their legacy in hip hop history as the first female rap group to sign a deal. The trio, which consisted of Cheryl the Pearl, Cook, Gwendolyn, Blondie, Blondie Chisholm, Chisholm, and Angie B. Brown, who was later known as Angie Stone, uh, released their groovy hit Funk You Up under the Sugar Hill Records monopoly. They delivered the first rap recording performed by women and the third rap song to chart in the top 50 of the Billboard Hot Soul Singles. Mercedes ladies, wow. Oh shit. Since hip hop's inception, women have been fighting for a seat at the table, but depending on who gets asked, the table is still controlled by men till this day. In that respect, the plight of the female MC traces back to a group of four teenage girls known as the Mercedes Ladies. Oh shit. The Bronx crew, rather, which consisted of Ari Cher, DJ RD Smiley, Tracy T, Eve A Def, Xena Z, DJ La Spank, and DJ Baby D solidified, solidified their status as the first all-female rap group in 1976. Oh shit, I'm sorry. Anyway, not to mention they were the sister group to Grand Wizard Theodore and the L Brothers, who were later renamed the Fantastic Five. However, the Mercedes Ladies never released much music. According to Sherry D, the group signed to Russell Simmons' Def Jam imprint and were swindled out of their only record. Yes, you can. In a cruel twist of fate, Simmons allegedly gave the song to R&B singer Allison Williams instead of putting it out as a rap track. Disco Daddy, Disco Daddy, and Captain Rap. After Sugar Hill Gang's seminal 1979 hit "Rapper's Delight," hip hop was growing in popularity on a global scale. Despite the genre's ties to New York, the West Coast wasn't too far behind. Out west, groups like Disco Daddy and Captain Rap assisted with the expansion of hip hop, evidence in their release of the Gigolo rap. The original West Coast rap recording. Oh, the Gigolo rap. Oh my gosh. Why does that remind me? Why does that shit remind me of the Nick Cannon song Gigolo? Oh man. Oh man. Man, I love this podcasting career, man. You know what I'm saying? Let me take a look who's in the Instagram live chat right here. Let me take a look here. All right, LaShawn's voice. Thank you for viewing this. And of course, man, if you're viewing this on Instagram live on the podcast show page, of course, if you have any thoughts on the topics that's being discussed in today's episode, go ahead in the comments, man. You know what I'm saying? And don't be afraid to say hi and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So this is only me, G Money Stacks, the host, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's just that's just me reminding you at home right here. All right, so let's get to let's continue where we left off here. All right, so let me see, where was I? Where was I? Oh yes. Yes, the Mercedes ladies. Yes, that's where I left off. Yes, the Mercedes lady. Yes. Let's see. Yes. Yes, there it is. Yeah, 1976. Yeah. Not to mention, wait a second. Not to mention, wait a second. Yeah. Yeah, also Williams. Yes. So Yeah, Disco. Yeah, this is where I was. Disco Daddy and Captain Rap. Okay. Yes. So, the song released in 1981 samples Rick James' "Give It to Me, Baby." Yeah, the record has some success, but the group eventually split up. Disco Daddy went on to form the L.A. Breakers, a breakdance troupe. The Breakers, which included future actors Cuba Gooding Jr. and Raymond Cruz, performed at the closing ceremony of the 1984 Summer Olympics. Meanwhile, Captain Rap's solo career entailed the release of his socio-political hit "Bad Times." I can't stand it. Oh gosh, the Treacherous Three. If it wasn't for MCs like Kumo D of the Treacherous Three, um, Treacherous Three, the fast rap style of rhyming would cease to exist. In the late 1970s, Mo D introduced a bit of variety into the mix through a unique cadence called the triplet flow. Um, the Treacherous Three, made up of three friends who dreamed beyond the four walls of their high school's lunchroom, are known as the originators of fast rapping. The group consisted of DJ Easy Lee, Kumo D, LA Sunshine, uh, a Special K, and Spoonie G. Spoonie G. Oh shit, man. Oh man, Spoonie G. And who left the group in the late 1970s. The Treacherous Three changed the game going forward, sparking a trend that spread like wildfire across different regions as MCs added their own twist to the triplet style. Now, hip hop was entering the first leg of its sonic metamorphosis. And in 1980, the new rap language, billed as the Treacherous Three and Spoonie G, became the earliest recorded example of fast rap in action. Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. We just talked about him and his group being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So speaking of that, the rise of hip hop in the late 1970s can be attributed in part of Grandmaster Flash, whose quick mix theory revolutionized scratching and mixing. Flash was dedicated to improving upon what DJ Kool Herc had started, so much so that he developed a new method to create an endless loop between two records playing the same sample of separate turntables. When Flash debuted his new technique to the public, mostly at neighborhood parks, people marveled at his skill. However, he wasn't too fond of his speaking voice, which presented the opportunity for the late great Keith Wiggins, who was later known as Keith Cowboy, to become Flash's first MC. As he continued to assemble his crew, it became apparent that something or someone was missing. On May 11th, 1979, the Funky Four battled Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Four. That night, Raheem left the Funky Four and joined Grandmaster Flash's supergroup, giving rise to Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. The group's hit record, The Message, paved the way for social commentary and hip hop. Plus, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five were the first rap group to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The Beastie Boys, who another group that got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Um, yes, the Beastie Boys played an integral role in the evolution of hip hop. First formed as a hardcore band, the New York Trio, which consisted of Adam MCA Yauch, Michael Mike D. Diamond, and Adam Adrock Horowitz, started to gradually experiment with hip hop, delivering Cookie Puss. Cookie Puss. Oh my god. Oh my fucking gosh. Oh shit. Wow. Wow. That's funny right there, man. Oh my gosh, man. Oh my god. What kind of name is that, man? What type of name is that though, man? That's even more funnier that's even more funnier than LL Cool J's old classic track Pink Cookies in a Plastic Bag. When I heard that song, I didn't really understand that shit though, but but I did that. I'm glad I did that topic though, man. Yeah. Oh man. Okay. Oh my gosh, man. Yeah, so wow. Yes, so this is crazy. Oh man. Anyway, anyway. Um yeah, so oh man. Yeah, Cookie was their first rap recording in 1983. 3 years later, they halted no, excuse me. They altered, excuse me. They altered. Can we get rid of this thing? Yes, so they all they altered the direction of popular music with their 1986 debut um License to Ill, rap's first number one album. The group's career spanned over 3 decades, pushing the boundaries of hip hop as they occupied an unfamiliar space where somewhere between punk, jazz, and of course, rap. Without a doubt, the Beastie Boys are easily regarded as one of the best groups of all time. And that's not just limited to hip hop either. In 2012, the three-man crew was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame just weeks before MCA died of cancer. Oof, damn. Beastie Boys called it quits shortly after, officially putting their mics down for good. Oof. Wow. Wow. So let's all right. I'm gonna make some noise for those groups and including individuals who made it to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? Um, and like I said before, man, you don't need to be a rock and roll artist to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. All right, that's just plain stupid. So congratulations to Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, Beastie Boys, Sugar Hill Gang, and the rest of the groups for um being able to do what they love and being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's really big. It's really big. All right, so a little congratulations. All right, 50 Cent, right? Okay, let's go with 50 Cent. And he says something about future. So let's get into it right here. Um, yes, here it is. All right, so 50 Cent agrees with Future that he is bigger than Jay-Z in the streets during a recent interview with journalist Ari Melber. The hip hop mogul's comments have ignited a debate among fans on social media. On Thursday, February 16th, political analyst and devoted rap fan Ari Melber posted his video interview with 50 Cent on MSNBC's YouTube channel. During the interview, which was conducted to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Fifth's classic 2003 debut album, Get Rich or Die Trying, which is the same name as the movie. Melber brought up Billboard and Vibes' debatable 50 greatest rappers of all time list, with Jay-Z being at number one. When Melba asked 50 if their list was correct, Fist said no. Damn. Melba then asked 50 who should be number one instead of Hove, and 50 couldn't give an answer. Oh, wow. Melba, who loves to quote rappers, recited Future's tweet back in December of 2021 when Future claimed to be bigger than Jay-Z in the streets. And and Future says on Twitter, in the streets, I'm bigger than Jigga. I'ma run me a beat up easy. 50 agreed with HNDR XX's statement. Yeah, he is way bigger. 50 stated at the 27-minute and 53 mark in the video below, like, there's consistent music from him that didn't chart. That is a huge records in the streets that people love and appreciate that. While 50 Cent may have a point, his comments stirred up a debate on social media among rap fans. Some people agree with Fifth's assessment, while others feel there are nuances to the former G Unit leader's remarks. And Future better than Drake and Jay-Z, tweeted one fan. Yeah. And one fan, Shay Stewart, won on Twitter. Future, um, in my opinion, is a better rapper currently than Lil Wayne or Jay-Z, but their greatness clears Future, and it's not even close upon another person. Um, Justin, just oh the Hooper, made the statement on Twitter. I think it's actually hilarious that these young bucks really think Future is better than Jay-Z. Recent recency bias is starting to become a drug for most. Wrote wrote a third fan. Yeah. Another user tweeted, I think it's pretty straightforward. Jay-Z is the best rapper. Future is more artistic and relevant, popular, whatever you want to call it. But he is definitely getting more plays in the streets. Yeah, of course. And Rap House TV on Twitter states 50 Cent says Future is way bigger than Jay-Z in the streets. Do y'all agree with this? I'm gonna make that another. I'm gonna make that another. That's gonna be my second question too. Um and I think it's pretty straightforward. Yeah, Jay-Z is the best rapper. Yeah. I already read that one right there. So that's pretty interesting, man. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty interesting to say. Actually, I'm going to actually yeah. So this is just um this is an interesting conversation right there, man. I hate to say this though, man. It's an interesting conversation though, man, to have. So I have to really say I'm gonna make that a second question. So it's gonna be a two-part question actually. One is going to be about MSG and 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 of course, do y'all agree with 50 Cent stated as far as like Future being um more relevant in the streets, as far as music, You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm gonna leave that to y'all when I come up with it though, after I get off the air. So stay tuned for those two-part questions I'm going to put out there in episode 246 in the episode description. Um, so stay tuned for that. All right. Um, okay. I think we have time for another segment before we even get to stream choices on the go. I want to get to hang on a second. Hang on a second here. um okay. We are going to get to our next segment right here. So let's get into it right here. So I'm going to actually get to right here. This is what is it? Wait a second. Wait a second here. Yes, podcast free game mechanisms right here, man. Let's get into it right about now. Yes, this is the segment for all the people out there who are starting a podcast and, of course, need some guidance on how to start a podcast. As far as like, they're not sure what type of equipment that they need to start a podcast. So I am here to give you some guidance on some equipment, important equipment that is going to help you start your podcast. So let's get into it right here. Let's get into it right here. So listen, the first thing you need is headphones. And of course, on the side, you do need a microphone, like I'm using right here. Now, it doesn't have to be anything too expensive. You could get a Yeti microphone, an Voxcon microphone, which is where I bought from Target, and which is the Voxcon A800 model is what I'm using, and yeah, so another way you to start a podcast as well is for you to have a laptop. You need a laptop, which is very important, which includes a webcam. And of course, if you have a unique podcast title name, it doesn't have to be anything too cheesy, but it could be anything that nobody has ever heard before, like I did right here with this New York podcast platform right here. And other podcast shows that I do. So, for those of you who may not know, I came up with the name of the podcast shows because at the time I was looking for something that was positive. You know what I'm saying? I was looking for something that's very positive, not something in the dark times and some shit like that, man. I was really going for something that's positive and unique that nobody has ever fucking heard before. And you can do the same, and you can do the same here too for you folks at home right here. And another thing that you need other than the laptop is of course, if you have anything, if you're recording from your room and you need some lighting purposes, I would recommend that you get like the LED lights. The LED lights that I am using right here in my room, which is, as you can see, this is my favorite color is red. And you can put it all over you can put it all in your room, near the ceiling. You can put it near the ceiling and stuff. You could find that on Amazon, as a matter of fact. You can find it on Amazon. All right. And and as far as the laptop is concerned, you also need a supporting software, which is where StreamYard comes in. StreamYard is the software that I use, which features ways for you to do your live stream. You got Facebook, you have LinkedIn, which I don't really use, to be honest with you. I don't really use LinkedIn because not too many people that I know actually is using that platform. You can also live stream on Twitch, and you can also have YouTube. As far as your channels and stuff, as far as your channels on Twitch and YouTube, you can plug that in, and you can also set up your schedule of when you're going to live stream on, or where you're gonna live stream on Twitch and stuff. And by the way, if you have Twitch or whatever and you have a YouTube channel, I suggest that you transfer the video from Twitch to your YouTube channel, because they tend to delete people's videos at a certain time, depending on the amount of days or whatever. It depends, because it's not as, like, I stopped using Twitch because they tend to delete people's videos, and I didn't like that at all. I mean, YouTube would never do that. YouTube would never do that, actually. So, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, so these are the best options on for the the options of the feature of StreamYard that you can plug your channels to and stuff like that. So there you have it right there. And by the way, folks, don't worry about um not having any comments and the amount of subscribers or whatever. Yeah, you could promote your podcast and stuff to every person that you could think of and all that other stuff, but you 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 don't want to let that mess with your mental health. You know what I'm saying? You don't want that to make you feel depressed and shit, thinking that you're a failure and all that other shit. But you're not a failure. You are enough. You matter. And as a content podcast content creator who does this on a weekly basis, I feel that I have to really sometimes address certain things, because it doesn't really matter what the amount of subscribers and the amount of views that you have. Those things are all right, but you have to really understand that you can't please everybody. There is no right or wrong way to do a podcast, man. I don't know how many times I have to keep bringing this up, because it's getting to really get a little crazy for me to actually address this, because I don't think it's fair for podcast hosts and content creators and stuff like that to go crazy on what type of specific content that you need. If you are a podcaster, you're basically recording a podcast episode full topics. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't have to go crazy on trying to be a people pleaser. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to really do that to yourself, man. And by the way, folks, for those of you who are trying to make a podcast or whatever, if you hear anybody tell you that you need haters, if you don't have haters, you're not doing anything right, it's bullshit. Okay? It's certainly bullshit, though. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want too much negativity on what you're trying to do and what you love to do. You feel me? I hope y'all learn something from this lesson of podcast free game mechanisms right here. And of course, with StreamYard, you can actually set up your schedule on whether you can act on whatever days you want. You can invite people to your live stream as far as to chime in on the topics is what I was trying to do when I started the podcast 2 years ago. Now it's going on to this is now the third year that it's going to be reaching its anniversary. So you know what I'm saying? And I actually was talking to a homegirl of mine I went to college with or whatever, and she mentioned about TikTok. But the thing about TikTok is that it does come with restrictions. And I don't because the reason why I don't really do too much TikTok because I know nobody's not gonna talk to me on there either. And and I know for a simple fact that it's not that easy to just promote your podcast on a TikTok or whatever, which is a lot of work because number one, I'm already live streaming on YouTube and next to me is the Instagram live feed is what I use. You feel what I'm saying? And I don't think that I don't know because for me, I feel like there's no originality behind TikTok. I feel the need that I need to really be, natural, be original, be organic. I don't want to be a fucking sellout, man. And I say this all the time. I don't want to be a fucking sellout for fame or any other type of shit whatsoever. I don't want to do that because that's not really representing the person that I am today. I don't like fame because the thing with fame is just it it can really mess with a person's mind and everything can be all glamorous and shit, but it's really not. So so that's the reason why I chose not to put my podcast shows on podcast networks because I want to make sure that I have sole custody of the three podcast shows that I am hosting that I started so it doesn't so my content doesn't get controlled by corporations and the reason being is because this podcast show right here and my other podcast shows that I do is basically raw, unfiltered, uncut, not edited, and of course honest. You feel what I'm saying? Getting people to interact with you on YouTube or anywhere else takes time. It takes time. It isn't It takes time. Going to that's why I'd rather be in my own lane and not worry too much about other people who has more subscribers than me and who has more views than me. I'm not worried about that too much though, man. I'm more about trying to, you know, give y'all all my energy into each podcast episode that I do. You feel what I'm saying? And And that's just basically the lessons that I have for you folks out there who want to start a podcast and podcast free game mechanisms. And if you need any help on the types of equipments on on how to start a podcast, whatever, please feel free. Please feel free to hit me up on Instagram on G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. If you like to know where you can find the equipments that I just mentioned, just DM it to me. All right. It's not going to hurt. So, period. All right. So, our very last segment of the night is stream choices on the go. All right. This is a segment where I actually tell you where you can actually listen to the podcast, where you can follow the show on social media, which includes Instagram. All right. So, we're going to get into it right here, right now. And as they say, man, in the most catchphrase that I always say, run for the hills. And if you like what you heard in today's episode, of course, if you like what you heard in today's episode whatsoever, including today's topics, and all that great stuff right there. Please feel free to show some love by following Off the Meat Rack Chainz New York podcast on Facebook and Instagram, which is what NY stands for, folks. For those of you who may not know what NY is, NY stands for New York. So, and you can also follow my other podcast show pages on on the gram as well, which is my sports platform right here, which is Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, the sports edition show. And yeah, I want to actually include my other platform, the review show, which is Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast um as well. And myself included on the primary handle on the gram, which is G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. And of course, turn on your notifications so you can be in the know on when there's going to be some postponements on podcast recording schedules and shit like that, and and everything else in between. So um so yeah, there you have it right there, man. um and if you go to the link in bio, you're gonna see a whole list of audio streaming platforms. And like I said before, I am going to do a separate episode in regards to Spotify for podcasters. So I'm going to actually talk about that in the near future. So, you know what I'm saying? And of course you can leave a voice message on there. Everything is the same. Everything is the same and stuff. So don't worry. And speaking of where you can leave a voice message and stuff like that. So speaking of which, we're gonna start with Anchor, aka Spotify for podcasters, um, Audacity, Audible, Audioburst, Breaker. No, excuse me. Yeah, Audioburst, Amazon Music, Breaker, Bullhorn FM, Castbox FM, Deezer, Listen Notes, Moon FM Podcast, Player FM, Pocket Cast, Podbay, Podfriend, Podhound, Podopolo, Podorama, Podcast Index, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Podverse, Podcast Guru, Podvine, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, iHeartRadio, the number one app for music, radio, and podcasts. You don't need a credit card or debit card to download iHeartRadio or any other apps that I just mentioned right there. And of course, be sure to subscribe to um, the New York podcast, the platform right here on iHeartRadio. Also alongside with Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, the Sports Edition show, and alongside with Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast review show. All right. And finally, lastly, but not least, make sure you go ahead and go to the YouTube channel page of G Money Stacks 555. Grab that subscribe button for me and click on the notification bell, the noni bell, which is what I always say, alongside with enabling alerts so you can be reminded of when each podcast recording is going to start, as far as the day, the date, and the time. All right. Leave a like and a comment along with the episodes and today's topics that's being included. And like I said, I am going to make a two separate question in the episode description of this episode right here. So stay tuned for that. And 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 of course, yeah, make sure you download these episodes. All right. That's very important. Very important that you download these episodes. All right. And and of course, make sure you listen, stream, watch the episodes in case you miss any of them. Don't worry. And of course, And of course, be sure to share the episodes, share the videos on YouTube with everybody. And of course, the make sure you tell a friend to another friend. And spread the word. Word of mouth is important. And of course, be sure to share the link that says linktree/GMoneyStacks555 along with the podcast with your husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, friends, the people you are cool with from work or anywhere else where you meet new people, whether it's at, festivities, carnivals, amusement parks, parties, barbecues, block parties, wherever you meet new people, all right? Spread the word, tell it to everybody. And that's it for me. I'm your man, G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in and rocking with me on episode 246. And of course, today's episode was about Bed Bath and Beyond going out of business through bankruptcy. And yeah, and make sure you download these apps that I just mentioned to you folks at home on your iPhones, Android phones, iPads, Android tablets, and of course, laptops includes Apple, which also comes with Mac, and Dell laptops, which also includes Windows. All right. So all these items you have, make sure you download it to your laptops and everything else. So there you have it right there. And I think that's it, man. So like I said, man, this has been an interesting episode right here. I will guarantee to actually give all my energy to podcasting, which is something that I enjoy. And I hope you find something that you enjoy out here. And by remembering the grind doesn't stop, hard work pays off. If you want something, you have to work hard and you have to earn it. And forget about working smarter, man. How about working hard to earn something? You know what I'm saying? So there you have it right there. And also you can find and look for something that makes you happy and doing something that you love that gets you on a consistency basis, confidence, finding your voice, doing what you love, and of course, be you, be true to yourself with your content. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what type of content that you create. All right. Don't go crazy on what type of content that you want to create as far as like, the people. You can't please everybody, okay? Don't worry about pleasing everybody. Um and yeah, of course, consistency gets you on your P's and Q's alongside with confidence and of course, creatively speaking, mentally, physically, and spiritually, that gets you into your zone alongside with tunnel vision. And don't let anybody stop you from doing what you love. You feel what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you're not the person. at the end of the day, don't worry about the fucking haters. They're not the ones that helped you create this podcast project. You know what I'm saying? It's all about you. Sometimes people do need a little help, especially um if you want somebody to co-host with you. Yeah, I would love to do that. And I've been doing this for like, this is about my third year doing this. The other two podcast shows that I've been doing is 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 it's about to be 2 years. So, and yes, I've been putting in the work though, man. And I'm not too worried about, competing with other YouTubers. I'm not worried about that, man. So I have to be I'm worried about being in my own lane, because that's what matters to me. Not some stupid ass competition. Period. Let me take a look to see who arrived. That's it. Okay, that's it, man. That's really it. Take care of yourselves. I hope y'all switch your clocks and watches forward 1 hour ahead. I am going to touch base on a particular topic in regards to the daylight savings time being all year round and permanent, and what the bill is going to actually do. I'll break all that shit down. I'll try to have somebody to actually help me with this topic and other topics and stuff. So it's really, it's some people have mixed feelings about it, but all that will be discussed in a future episode. Don't worry about that right there, man. And yeah, that's it, man. Peace and one love. I hope y'all have a great week. I hope y'all had a great weekend and everything else. And of course, I hope y'all ready for spring of next week alongside with spring break. I'm pretty sure everybody has spring break plans for all you spring breakers out there. Don't let any weather related stuff stop you from having fun. So, peace and one love. Good night, everybody.